guy ahead's lap time is a 2:12.7. The leader has just done a 136.9. The leader's just done a 126.8. That's a new fastest lap for Moises, 125.8. The car ahead has just done a 34:45.6 seconds. That's a new fastest lap for Mia's, 125.6.
Oh, but
yeah.
on a flat screen, it's so cool.
I just went to VR like a couple months ago, and like when you get out of VR, you watch it on your nice monitor. The game is really crisp.
Are you on?
Hey! Did you see where to put Tom in the INI file?
Whoa! Oh, I got to do that.
Yep.
Hang on, get out of the server.
Nope. Everything's fine except for he's just got to go in and get the app. You know where it is?
Hang on a second. I'm searching. You can hang tight for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I know where it is, so I can tell you if you want.
Program files, games.
Yep.
Ah, so many folders to navigate. Nice. Broadcast. Configuration settings. Ah, Monday. I gotta take. Can I add in a third one, or can I have to replace a exotic streaming?
You can add a third one.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Just two.
I think it's comma separated.
Yep.
Yep.
Comma and a quote.
Yep.
You want just Tom Traskell? Is it KL or EL?
AL.
Got it. Gotta add you to the project. Bingo. Okay. File. Save. I'll restart game in case.
I'm gonna actually. I gotta. I think my network's having an issue, so I'm gonna reset the box while I've got time. But yeah, just want to make sure that was there. Otherwise, he'll be on the list. All right. Thanks, Jesse.
Yep.
Good luck, guys.
Yay!
Yeah. Have fun.
You too.
All right. I'll restart.
I have a dumb question. In qualifying, is #1 car the fastest car? You know, top qualifier. Or does it switch? I have a quick question for you. During qualifying, the top is the best time rotate up to the top?
Yes, I'll always be at the top.
Okay. How do you pronounce Iggy's last name?
I think it's Georgia. I think it's more like a J than it is a C. But just don't quote me.
These guys are running quick time. You copy, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm here.
When I'm looking at the individual cars, the one I'm running 2 lap times and then the current time, which one's the right one, the fast one?
The right one is their fastest, the left one is their previous.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
And then if you click, I said if you click on their name, just well, like the 3 initials, their latest times will post over on the right or somewhere on your screen, depending.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
It should toggle that. And you just touch it again, it'll go off if you want to get rid of it. And same thing with the times. It'll either spit out the raw or the delta between.
Yeah. The only thing is my current car display is covering the top #1 spot. I can't see who's #1.
Oh, we're going to qualifying, so let me get this started here. I'm running the intro here, and then I'll get on here in a second. We'll get going. I'll cue you in.
Okay.
Alrighty, welcome everybody. Season 35, Monday night, Open Wheel Cars. I'm Jesse Olson, joined tonight by a special guest in the booth, Mr. Tom Traskell. Tom, say hi.
Thanks for having me, Jess. I love New York. Watkins, Glen. Here we go.
Excellent. So I'll be getting set up here. Give me a minute here. Apologies for last week's multiple snafus. I'll try a lot better this week, and Tom in the booth. Hopefully he can fill in some of those areas where I was trying to get situated on cars and cameras. So we're hoping for a much smoother broadcast this week. We're at Watkins, Glen, New York. Tom introduced, and it looks like it's going to be 37 lap race here tonight, Tom. So sort of your standard Monday night affair. Should be about an hour of racing. Looks like these guys are running 90-second, maybe sub 90-second laps. Looks like a pretty long lap compared to last week, which was a short track.
Absolutely. A little more space this week.
And I was hearing through the grapevine how wonderful the track surface is here. We all know in real life this is repaved. Probably bush like 3 years ago. I'm not sure on that, but recently. Some recent surface here. Grip levels are high. Nice and smooth track. So I think the guys are really happy to be at this circuit. See some good racing tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be good. We're going to see some high speeds here today. Everybody
fastest lap for Slade, 130.6.
This track,
new fastest lap for
it's a
Wathen,
little bit better for these
129.0.
cars than the last couple shorter tracks that the guys ran. And we should see some good racing, some good pits pass as well.
Yeah, there's been no shortage of action this season. I don't think this car is disappointed at all when it comes to keeping me busy up here on the cameras and keeping folks glued to the TV set. I think it's been, like I said, some interesting races so far this season. We've had some short tracks of late. Barber was a short track that was just over a minute lap time. I think Laguna wasn't too far before that. Motorsport. So some of the shorter tracks you expect to see at the lower lap times. Watkins here being one of the bigger ones. We'll see these guys space out. So we'll have to see how the battles persuade. But the push to pass has kept it interesting this season.
Yeah, I think they'll have a little bit more, leeway with the two tire compounds, and that should be interesting as far as the strategy that everyone has on this course.
So we're 5 minutes into qualifying now, 25-minute qualifying session. Those who are not familiar. We have some times already posted. Chris Moses is on the board, and he's on your provisional pole spot. He's turned a 125.519. So that's our pole position for now.
Yeah, Jonathan Cuppett right behind him. He started the season a little bit slow, but has really climbed up the championship leaderboard and seeing good things out of Jonathan.
Yeah, so far P2, and it's already getting pretty close up top. We have about 3/10 there covers the first 6 positions. So the guy's already doing the minute 25 mark. We'll see how much faster they get.
Yeah, testament to the talent.
Fastest lap for Werner, 126.2.
qualifying leaderboards, which makes for great racing once that flag falls.
Yeah, it's a full fields this year. We started the season with a grid full, 32, and I think I'm counting 27 race cars on track right now, so I'm not sure if we'll get many more with qualifying, but that's another nice full grid. So we've had some attrition, but that's always the case. Hopping on board with Michael McKinday here. I think he's substituting. So is he substituting for Kevin's teammate who's out this week? There will be some substitutions in the field, folks, so we'll try to get those sorted out. I think McKinday's subbing for Mark DeGraw.
Yeah, that's definitely their team colors.
Yeah, the Penske color is a good color. I like that. So I'm riding on board with Michael right now. He looks to be having a good shot of pull here, a little wide out of that next to last corner. But I tell you, that right-hander coming onto the start-finish line is always a tricky one to get right. And Michael McKinday takes pole spot, 125.347. So just under 2/10 clear now of Chris Moses. Moses
It'll be interesting to see too what Gil Taylor and Ian all carrying weight from last week's success ballast, how that affects their lap times in here qualifying.
Yeah, Taylor's carrying 20 tonight. Ian on track yet? Have we seen Ian yet? I don't know if I have Ian's car. Maybe he's got to sub this. Keep an eye out for Ian here. I would expect to see him.
He is at the Maple Leafs game enjoying some NHL hockey tonight.
Wow. Hockey over race car? I can't blame him. He doesn't want this. My Lightning are doing quite well, but that's another conversation for them.
Kevin Luckmans, he brings it a 25-0. He moves up to number 1.
All right, 25. And I guess, well, you got to talk about Kevin Luckmans. He can sing as this is literally his home track. For those that don't know, he's actually responsible for the creation of this latest version of Watkins Glen that's out there. It's highly praised out there in the world as far as mods for Esotic Corsa. So we expect the guy who built it to know all the ins and outs, and so far it's working for him.
Some of the other drivers wanted him to have a little weight for this race, but he wasn't.
Oh, you can't wait. They let him win last week if they wanted him to carry weight here. I don't think anybody's going to let anybody win here. Okay, so Joel Cor's down here to carry his weight. I wonder if he's got a sub. I'll scroll through maybe the forums here in a little bit, see if I can find something. But Lemansky's bumped McKinday, and Taylor snuck ahead of Moses. I don't know if you caught that or not.
Yep.
He's P3 now. That's pretty respectable carrying 20 kilograms. We'll see if he'll stay there. It's still a long time. 15 minutes left. And down here in 13th, I don't know if, let's take a look at his laps. Philippe Gill, last week's winner. He's been no stranger to the front of the grid this season. I expect to see him be up there again. He's got 30 kilograms, so he might not be quite as quick this week, but I think he's got a little more than a 26.3.
Yeah, they're still celebrating down in Columbia from last week, from what I understand. Phillips, Philippe might be feeling the effects of that celebration. He's normally right up at the top.
Yeah, they party hard down there. I wonder if they got the daylight savings time. Maybe they're still going.
They are still going after his win last week.
See who's out on track and getting a lap in. Jonathan Cuppett's just leaving the pits. Brad Marys is out on track. I believe he's on an out lap. He's about halfway around. Try to pick up Brad here in a little bit.
Yeah, everyone's pretty consistent. I think that 25 flat so far still holding up for Kevin Lemansky.
That's been impressive.
New fastest lap
right
for
around with Jake
126.0.
He helps Tom and I get situated up here. And he's looking pretty good. Sitting on a 26.9. Let's see if he goes any faster this lap. Oh,
The
just
guy ahead's
missed it.
last lap time
27.0.
is a 2:29.4.
If he goes for another one. Nope, he's gonna bail. So 1 and done. Teo just sputting around. Is gonna hop on board with him. We'll ride back up to Kevin, who, close call. I don't know. I didn't see who that was, but he almost got in the back of somebody. He's gonna bail on that lap.
I'm expecting John Houston to put in a good lap here.
Yeah, John won. Was it 2 weeks ago at? I believe that was Mosport. That might have been the race you missed, folks.
So he brings it around.
Houston must be on an out lap.
Yeah.
Hop back on board with Matt Taylor here.
Chris
Right on.
Moses, 25.5. Watch, keep an eye on him.
Moses
Jonathan
looks.
Cuppet.
Yeah, I see
25.6.
Moses. 6
Whoa,
tenths
and Chris takes it off.
up. And Matt just had a handful there in the toe as well. So
Chris was pushing it hard through there. And I guess that wait for Philippe, he's about a second off the pace so far. I think
The guy in front has just done a 1:42.2.
might be, but it's not affecting Matt Taylor.
True.
Now he still has improved at his time, but he's sitting on a 125.4 versus Philippe's 126.0. So a little bit, half a second or so, a little over. So Matt's been around here a long time too, though, and he's won some races. So he might just be a little more accustomed to carrying weight and learning how to race with it.
Sitting second, currently sitting second in the championship points, and definitely right up there with the leaders. There's still 8 to 10 drivers within 12, 15 points, and with double points paying off at the last round, this is very interesting up to this point so far.
Yeah, been some discussion around that double points for the last round, but I think it's going to make it a lot of fun. Last season's championship came down to the last race, and we hope it's the same thing this year as well. Just catching Lekmansky's next lap, a 124.9. He must have been flying in that last sector because he was 2 tenths off going into it. He did something. That's impressive.
At his quasi-home track, he's pushing it hard, 124.9. He's our full leader so far.
He's got 4 tenths to McKenday, who's driving the team car. So those guys are trying to snap that team championship. This will be the week to do it. Kevin's got pace and McKenday's got pace. I'm sure there's been a little communication of setup help.
And Mike McKinley, he's shown quality talent all year. He was sitting in for Ian for the first 3 races, or first 2 races. Had a podium, always at the top of the board at qualifying. So, with those 2 team cars running here today, Mark DeGrasse is probably sitting back and enjoying this one.
You may not enjoy it. Michael McKenday puts 20 or 30 kilograms on his car for him.
There you go.
But good run by Michael right now. He's 2 tenths off in that middle sector, so I'm riding around with him. See if he can get it together this last sector. Kevin was a little slow in that middle sector too, so maybe that's just a thing, maybe a shortcoming of their setup. Maybe it's better in the back end of the lap than the middle of it.
Yeah, and the lap times right down the border, they're pretty consistent. So I don't know how much more they might have.
125.3. So he would have 125.49 last lap, so just a tenth off his previous lap. So nice lap by Michael. Not enough to improve. We still got to find 4/10 out there. Matt Taylor should be starting a hot lap now. He's got a car in front of him. It'll be David Rowley. Let's see how he deals with that. He's catching him kind of going up the S's in the backstretch. He might even be able to work that to his advantage if he can get a draft off of it.
Yeah, Philippe's coming out as well on an out lap. I think he was in there a little bit. He might have made some changes for this qualifying. And that car's set up.
I'm showing Taylor level on his opening sector, along with McKinday. I'm on board with Taylor for now. With that 20 kilograms, so pretty impressive.
That is good.
McKinday might be just ahead of Matt. He is, so I'm going to try to pick him up. He's level through the second sector. As you know, Kevin threw down a blistering third sector, so we'll have to see if they can keep with that. Man, he's right up there in those curves.
Andrew Werner's coming out, too. Keep an eye on him. He's at a 126 flat.
Ooh, McKinday improves his time, but can't quite get there. He chops 2/10 off.
Right there, knocking on the door.
Taylor loses control there, coming back up onto the old backstretch. So Taylor's going to not improve on his lap time, but sitting pretty in P3 with 20 kilograms. Got to feel good about that.
McKinday's back in the pits. He's sitting second.
Jonathan Cuppett is on a lap here. He's a 10th up in the first sector. That's right, I want Jonathan. Matt's teammate for the season. They were GT teammates before. So we have some GT guys who have made the migration. McKinday being one of those. Ooh, big slide from Cuppett. Woo, 180. Smart takes it off track, gets it out of the way. He'll take that back.
Yeah, and those transitions from the Thursday Night League, the GT League, Jonathan had a couple of things to say as the league was reforming and resettling. And of course, we're only on Mondays currently, so there's no official GT class running on Thursday nights. But those guys coming over have made great showings in the open wheel car so far.
Yeah, it's almost a different mindset to run an open wheel car versus GT. Of course, you always try to race clean, but GT you have, the warm hugging sensation of the fenders to save you if you get into contact. That's not always forgiving, but you can usually get away with a little bit more than you can in an open wheel car. That's for sure.
And the NAGP GT series, which we're hearing is trying to make a comeback. Great action to watch, great racing to watch. The bumping and the grinding, I think it's a little bit more.
That's a new fastest lap for Werner,
relaxed atmosphere
125.8.
than what we see here at the open cars, and a lot of fun to watch.
Well, Andrew Warren just put a lap in. It was his fastest, but he lost some time in that last sector. So he's sitting in 10th right now. Andrew might still have another lap in him here. Looks like he's going to have another go around.
Matt Taylor still in third. He's still a bit back. 125.4 in his last lap. Chris Moses at a 125.5. Chris is
like he's just
currently in
on
fourth.
Track. Yep. Nothing's on that lap. Brad Marys, haven't talked about Brad yet, but Brad's starting to get the hang of this car. He's got a win under his belt, and I think he had a win a couple weeks ago. He's lost all that ballast, so see what Brad can put together tonight.
That's a team to watch. It was mentioned in my article on the NAGP website just a couple of weeks ago. These guys have a little bit less on their plates with the new administrators coming in, and a little bit more time to run and practice, and so far it has shown. And I believe we need to keep an eye on that team, not only for the team championship this year, but even one of those
New fastest lap for Werner, 125.7.
So interesting. We have two teams filling out the top 3 spots right now.
The car
We
in
got
front
Kevin
has just done a
Lekmansky
129.8.
and Michael McKinday. Of course, Michael subbing in for Mark DeGraw for their team. Taylor in 3rd and Cuppet in 5th with their team. And then Moses in 4th and Mary's in 6th and their teammates. So I kind of feel like we got a little bit of Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull action going on here at the top. Maybe that'd be the race for the rest, but don't count out Zahn. He's only a 10th behind Mary's for that 6th spot.
So Kevin's 124.9 still holding up. Our first qualifier so
The leader
far.
has just done a 136.3.
Kinsey takes it off. He was a 10th up on the lap, so let's hop around with Chris Moses right on board with him. Appears to be on a decent lap. He's going to go into the toe section here. Well, that's just a corner of patience. You just use the banking and just wait to find the apex and squeeze the power. It's easy to get wrong.
Yeah, the big sweepers here really lend themselves to these cars. Guys love this track. They love what Kevin Romanski's done with it. And it's just going to provide that much more action throughout the day. Chris is
Chris
pushing it
bangs
wide
the wall.
and takes the inside wall as well. And he was on a fast one.
Yeah, he was cooking. He just put a little too much, a little too soon in that last corner. Unfortunate for Chris. He's still sitting there. John Houston appears to be putting together a decent lap here. He's 6/10 up, about to cross the finish line. What can Houston do here? Close. Not going to help him. 125.
And less traffic here, more room. So better qualifying runs than what we've seen on the shorter tracks. And it looks like Taylor he's got a good lap going as well.
Yeah, right on board with Warner again. He's crept up to 9th, so he's gotten a spot. Suspect he hit a little more time in it. He's sitting on a 125.678 right now. He's just a 10.5 to Aaron Parsons, who we haven't mentioned at all.
Fastest lap
Aaron's
for
sitting
Taylor,
quietly
125.3.
Let's see if Warner can best. Lost about half a second, that middle second.
Yeah, Parsons hanging right in there for the championship, and maybe hasn't been qualifying as well as he'd like the last couple of weeks, but also made a huge amounts of spots the last couple of weeks, so he is still hanging around for the championship.
As a 3/10 up through the first 2 sectors, so he's got the pace here. Takes it a little wide. Keeps it on track though. .125.54. That's his best. That's gonna put him ahead of Zahn now for P7. Just under a minute to go in qualifying, so these guys here on their must be on recon laps. They're not going to be able to get time in. Pay attention here to Michael McKinday coming around the last 2 corners. He's got 2/10 back from Lekmansky. Let's see if he can get there.
He was right there.
Lost some time now last sector, big time, 125.7. Going to do it for Michael McKinday. Cuppet maybe on a fast one. I see him coming down here into the boot.
And using all of that exit.
Big slide! It's gone. Once those tires get... It seems to be, once those tires get into a slide, they heat up so fast and they get so hot, they're almost useless for 2 minutes.
And with the qualifying setups they run, they run the tires to match that type of performance. And he lost it hard coming on in.
Riding on board with Michael McKinley. Says he's up a 10. We'll have to see if he can keep it together. We saw McGraw actually snag a pole in the waning seconds before, so I wonder if McKinley can repeat that in Mark's car. Oh, he's so close to that outside wall in the end.
And this track does.
Oh, just missed it. Oh, 125 flat. He improves, but not enough to get like Mancy.
Not quite enough.
Oh, Mancy was so good in that last sector. In fact, I think Lebansky's just cruising around taking a so-called victory lap here for the pole position. He's waving to the crowd. Maybe his whole
Still
family's
pushing
here.
hard through those corners.
Is he trying to put a little salt in the wound?
Could be. Yep.
No, that's all right. Still grabs a pole position. So impressive run there for Kevin, and he'll take the pole with a 124.9.
And Michael McKinley just missed it right behind Kev. 1/10 off. He's in second. Matt Taylor is in third. Just under half a second off. Jonathan Cuppett in fourth. We have Brad Myers, fifth. His teammate Chris Moses, sixth. Aaron Parsons qualifies seventh. David Zahn in eighth with a 125.6. Nice qualifying for David. Andrew Werner thought from his first couple laps he can be up there a little bit tighter at 125.6. He's our ninth qualifier. John Houston in 10th. Jesse and Philippe Gill. A little bit of a disappointing carrying the weight. A little bit of a disappointing 11th. Kevin Miller 12th. Jake Feemster in 13th. 1 second back off the pole. Teo Mejia just behind Jake at 14th. Santiago Ocampo 15th. Alan Jacobs 16th. John Wathen 17th. Josh Slade
B28,
18th.
get ready.
How many qualifiers did we have? We had a lot. Is there maybe some? Oh, hang on, I'm in the race section. Hang on, I must have the wrong tab. User error. I see 27 cars on grid with the time, and I believe there may be a no quali in there somewhere. Martin Smith will be the 28th car with a no qual.
I do apologize. I lost my feed. I believe Mr. Smith he's the fill-in. Is trying to get on track with a couple of the guys to get pre-qualified. Looks like he did.
So then we should have 28 cars for tonight. If I'm reading that right, let's go ahead and take a look at those points for the season, if I've got my technology going correctly. I will get us the current points on the board following last week's race. Your winner was Philippe Gill. He's now your points leader, 10 points clear of Matt Taylor, who has 78. Brad Mary's in 5th with 70. John Houston with 69. And Aaron Parsons, as you mentioned, been chipping away at the points, sitting in 5th with 65 points. And your team points look like Aaron Parsons' team of T. Brock, Dan Bam, with 134. Precision Motor Racing, that's Jonathan Cuppett and Matt Taylor with 128, so just 6 points behind. Actually, I'm sorry, Precision Motor Racing is...
Chris Moses, Brent.
And that's right. PMR's is Chris Moses and Brad Meyer. So they're in second. Apologies on that with 128, just 6 points back. Taking care of business is Matt Taylor and Jonathan Cuppett. They're in third with 118, and Captain Clutch, which is Kevin Lekmansky and Mark DeGraw, not too far behind them with 115. So wow, it's 19 points separating the top 14. So pretty heated battle going on in the points currently. So we're only 5 races in on a 12-race season.
Yep, that's been the
Long ways to
theme.
go.
Close qualifying all season. No multiple winners so far. Very close racing. And both the team championship and individual championships, real tight races up through today's race at Watkins, Glen. Should be interesting to see with those two Verizon cars up front, if what they're talking about, any kind of strategy as we look forward to the lights going out here in Watkins.
All right, I'll be going green here in just a few moments.
Go, nail it.
All right, looks like a busy and frantic start. Michael McKinday and Kevin Lekmansky. Pretty clean through the first corner there.
Michael McKinday takes the lead coming out of turn 1.
Yeah, great start by Michael McKinday. Now, Kevin's not giving up so easy.
Drag race down the straight.
Oh, this is what you want to see on the first lap for P1. Nice and clean, respectable from her teammates there.
Taylor all over the back of Lemansky.
Looks
And it looks like Michael's pulling out just a bit of a gap.
Yeah, Taylor's kept the third spot. Now we've got teammates, teammate battle brewing here with Brad Marys and Chris Moses. Not so much as a battle as many of those guys just trying to hold position and keep together here on the first lap. Let's right on board Brad here as we're wrapping up the back half of this first lap. So pretty exciting.
And Michael is off. Our leader is off. That
I
puts
missed it.
Lemansky up to first.
Oh, I just missed it. But we've got another accident back there. I see red cars kind of spinning all over the place. Trying to catch who that was. Looks like Andrew Warner got caught up in that. His wheels turned full tilt. Unfortunate for Andrew. I've got another car halfway across the racetrack right now.
Chris Moses takes a look down the inside, and can he make it stick for second?
There is action all over the track, Tom. I'm telling you, tough keeping up with these cams. We're going to take it right back to the front, though, because this is for position now, which is now P2. Looks like Chris is able to get that done.
Slade in front is pitting.
Now let's pay attention to the tire strategy here. We didn't really discuss who was starting on what, but according to my notes here, Moses is on the alternate tire and Taylor started on the primary. So you would expect Moses to be able to get around Taylor between the extra weight and the primary tire.
Absolutely.
Jumping on board here with Philippe Gill, who we mentioned didn't have the strongest qualifying in at 30 kilograms, but has moved his way up pretty quickly. He's in P6.
And McKinday, he rejoined after leaving after the first. He's right behind him. And we've seen that a couple of times this year from Mike. Always having good qualifying, but the first couple of races he lost it as well early. But he's back at it right on Philippe's tail.
Got a great battle going here for 5, 6, 7. We've got a car in the wall on the inside. didn't catch who that was. Tom, that may be your car. Make sure you're escaped to pits. Oh, it would be a Monday night broadcast without a couple snappers. We're having fun. But I'm back on board here with your leader, Kevin Lemansky, who has already run up on some lap traffic. There were a couple incidents there at the tail end of that first lap. CC's going to have some work to do next week.
And
we've lost McKinday. And we didn't catch it on cameras, folks, but we lost McKinday, so unfortunate there. Right on board with David Zahn and Jonathan Cupper right now, battle for 6 and 7.
oh, and nose to tail with Alan Jacobs. Jacobs tries to make it.
Lechmansky is leading the race.
Looks like Zahn's been able to pull away here from Cuppin. And it looks like we've got a new kind of contender. And Mateo, we haven't really talked about Mateo. He's kind of a newcomer. He's made a few races and started to make a name for himself in the GP. Great run by him so far. He's made his way up to 7th, kind of around Cuppin. Cuppin loses another spot.
Consistent flaps all the way through.
And just a note here, let's see what tires these guys are on. Looks like Mateo's on the alternates. Jacobs looks to be on the primaries as well as Cuppin. So Cuppin falling back maybe, maybe more due to the tire than him maybe being a little off pace.
Jesse, any way for me to know I'm seeing what you're seeing?
Probably the best way to be, you've got another device being full of Twitch.
Let's see what we have for last time. So Kevin Lemansky with the last lap 124.7. Chris Moses, 126.9. Matt Taylor in the 128.0. So our top leaders are all running within a couple seconds of each other, but Lemansky is putting down some good laps. 127.4 in his last.
I was just checking the broadcast. I'm not sure if we're getting car audio. We're getting audio from the cars into the broadcast.
And it looks like Chris Moses is just a little chunks out of Kevin Lemansky. He's pulling up behind him just a little bit per lap.
That's a new fastest lap for Werner, 127.2. Lechmansky is now leading.
Last top 10 spot. He's got Jake Feimster all over. These two have been at it for a couple of laps now.
Riding on board with Jonathan Cuppin and Ocampo for that battle for P9. That's right now your closest battle on track. And Santiago's going to
He's making a look on the inside.
Takes a look. I think he kind of backed out of it there and thought better of it.
Didn't give him any room. He was on the right racing line. Good racing.
Yeah, no foul there by Andrew. Can't blame for Campbell for looking to see if Jonathan might give us space. That's a tough place to get it done. One is it's just it's a tough corner to run too wide by. You run out of room really quickly on the left-hand side.
Yeah, there's certain sections of this track as well. The drivers, you know, with the arm pull all the way around in certain sections, it almost gives you that street feel. They look at times closer than they actually are to the track, but it definitely is in the peripheral. So our top four, Nancy, Moses, Taylor, Parsons, all within 3/4 tenths. And the gaps have held steady. Jesse, what are we thinking on pit stop strategy?
That's a good question. I don't. This being one of the better track surfaces, I think they could run these alternates pretty hard. But I didn't catch any feedback. A lot of these guys are pretty secretive about what they're going to do.
It was very tight with actually a no conversation already, and it looks like they're going to push those primaries as far as they can. The lap times are consistent, so it'll be interesting. Not much control over fuel consumption on these cars outside of the push-to-pass functions. So it's tough to conserve fuel.
That's a new fastest lap for Werner, 127.0. Lechmansky is now.
Yeah, I
in the
was
lead.
with you there, Tom. So I was making a couple tweaks here to the audio levels, and I think I've got in-game audio back. So I apologize, folks. We're doing the best we can. Some newbies up here in the booth. I know you've been hearing us, but want you to hear these cars too. So I think I've got the audio situation rectified. Hopefully the levels are correct. But yeah, we should expect to start seeing some guys. And we just watched Ocampo run a little bit wide there in turn 1, as we talked about. Expect to start seeing some strategy come into play, which this season has been great for racing, Tom, because usually in the middle of a race, things tend to get drawn out, and you get some space. Kind of like we're seeing a little bit here. The battles are a little bit fewer and far between, but the strategies of the different tire compounds this season has kept racing going. Literally every lap, there's a battle on track for position. Now, maybe not be the same strategy, but it's a battle for position, and that's what makes it exciting.
Yeah, interesting to see how the front runners. We got both Chris Moses and Kevin Romansky on the alternates on this first stint, and the third place Matt Taylor, and fourth place Aaron Parsons.
Fastest lap for Werner, 127.0.
And the gaps between Matt Taylor in third on the primaries versus Chris Moses on the alternates. Only about 0.3 seconds, so it'll be interesting.
Yep, so we're 9 laps in here. That's right about quarter way for this race. So most guys have been at. If you run the softs, it would have to. You can't run them the whole time, but we've seen guys 2 stint the soft. Some guys even 3 stint the soft. So I'd be a betting person here if we start seeing pit stops in the next 2 laps for those that are running the alternates. And I'm probably going to take a guess here. These guys can probably go much deeper with the primaries on this new surface. I'm going to guess probably in the 15 to 18 lap range. Fuel really isn't an issue with these cars, correct? It's more burning up the tires?
Yeah, it's all about the tires. And you got Romansky and Moses first and second on the alternates. How far can they push these? The gaps are staying pretty close to the same as the guys on the primaries. So it'll be interesting to see how far Kevin Romansky and as well Chris Moses can push those alternate tires before they have to come in and either switch to the
New fastest lap
primers. You
for
would think the
Werner,
primers would be,
126.8.
you know, that middle stint is good.
Lechmansky
See how
is
far
leading
they
the
can
race.
push the alternates.
Definitely. We just lost Ocampo, who was having a great run. He's retired. So we are down to just at 19 cars, starting with 28. So lots of attrition here.
Yeah,
First
and, you know,
this race.
the big surprises there is, you know, Philippe Gil, who is the current championship leader, is out of this race. Michael McKinday, kind of been that in and out, filling in for different drivers, who also, you know, has accumulated a ton of points. He's out of the race. So that's going to have a big effect on the overall championship this week.
Yeah, for sure, both in team points and individual points. We just saw Chris Moses was the first person in the pit, well, first leader in the pit stop. So Chris has came in and completed a pit stop. He's came out 8th, and it appears he's opted for another set of the alternate tires. So Chris's strategy so far: run at 9, pit stop, grab another set.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what Kevin Lemansky does. He's still out there.
Stay out. Kevin's going to take the alternates onto an 11th lap.
You know, if you start to look at how, if they can push the alternates this far, how far can they push the primaries? Kevin, can he go 15?
We've seen some guys really stretch out the alternate tires here and just take care of them. I think getting a clean start is key to that. So right now we're seeing the cars a little bit of gap. Some guys starting to make some pit stops. Racing's a little bit more spread on track. I'm actually riding with Lou Mascarelli, who is giving chase here to, I think that's Chuck Carter. So we got a battle here for 14th and 15th. Just as heated as some of the battles you see up front here. These for, you know, the tail end of the points position. So these guys trying to, you know, take an opportunity where we've seen some faster guys retire and score some points for themselves.
Absolutely. And Lou, great driver, very consistent. Runs with lead in that mid-pack. He, you know, very dedicated. He's been around forever. Brian Story as well, who I believe is also out.
The leader, Lechmansky, is pitting.
Brian's out as well. Always showing up, always putting in a good run for their teams, and it's always great to see it.
I picked up Jonathan Cumpet and Alan Jacobs here, battle for 6th and 7th. These guys on the primary tires, so these guys will be looking to get some track position while the alternate drivers are coming in for their first pit stops. We saw Kevin Lemansky come in. I didn't catch him on camera, but he was just in, and now looks like David Zonder's in the pit as well. So some change of position.
So Taylor takes over P1. He is on the primaries and on his first stint.
And not for long, because he just took it off.
He just took it off.
The old, well, I forget what they call that corner. It's the big sweeping corner at the tail end, right after the bus stop, but he takes it off, loses it, and that puts, guess who? Aaron Parsons in P1.
Every week. Mr. Consistency. And again, on the primaries. And we are, Jesse, on lap.
We're on lap 12, Tom. So, yeah, we're at the tail end of lap 12. I'm not expecting to see Aaron or his teammate John Houston or any of those guys come in soon. I think we're going to see them out for quite a few more laps.
And those two are running together, running 124, 127 fours, 127 fives. And doing it consistently, so this will be interesting. Them hanging out there on those primaries, running together. So you wonder if there's a little bit of team strategy there as well.
And it looks like Taylor just had an off there coming out of the bus stop. He gathered it back up, but it cost him time and it cost him position. I don't see Taylor doesn't look like he's made a pit stop yet, so he's also on the primary tires, so he's just lost some track position, unfortunately, due to the mistake. That puts Aaron Parsons out front, but just over half a second to Houston. Similar to Parsons' times, pretty consistent, as you say, 28s early on, then he started to find the 27s. He's probably going to get that with some fuel burn. Houston's been just as consistent right behind him, so these guys doing a great job.
Yeah, and if Matt can stay with those guys, again, also on the primary, so he's not that far behind after that wobble.
Going to stay with this battle up front. It's just hovering right about half a second. John just being able to find a nice cushion to him. As I'm sure he's not trying to push his teammate too hard, but they would be right on pace with each other.
Parsons
It's
is
a
now
good way
lead.
to just put in crisp laps, and when these pit cycles come through, we'll see where their strategy gets them.
They ran virtually.
That's a new fastest lap
exact
for
lap
Moses, 126.8.
You gotta wonder if that's team order or something.
And it does look like Taylor's maybe losing a little bit to those two up there.
Yeah, he's dropped about another half second back from Houston, so now he did have that off and slid the tires, so we know that these tires are hot and they're sensitive to slides and lockups and things of that nature. I would guess the primary is a little bit more durable. Is that the case?
Absolutely. Yeah, nobody was really saying how much, depending on setup, how much more they could get out of them. I'm estimating I'm thinking they can get 18, 19, 20 laps, especially the way as the teammates are running up front. And it looks like we've got Jacobs up to fourth, also on the primary. Does he come in?
I don't believe so. I'm going to pull up his lap times. I'm just right on board with Jacobs and Cummins right now.
The leader, Parsons, is pitting.
Jacobs has not pitted. He's been consistent 128s in the last laps in the 127s. And just as I say that, Jonathan Cuppet comes in.
Yeah, Cuppet brings it in. So Chris Moses back up to
Third, second. We've had everybody, Houston and Taylor and Parsons all in the pits.
Oh boy.
So 15 laps. little sooner than we thought, but maybe there's just that much of a performance delta. And it looks like Taylor split them coming out.
Big split them coming out of the pits.
So as it comes out in fourth, Taylor in fifth, Houston in sixth. That puts Moses back up front.
And Alan Jacobs running second. He has not stopped on the primary.
Yeah.
So Chris Moses cycles back up front.
And Alan's lap times are great. That's a 127.3. That's a solid lap for a primary tire.
Yep, and he's stretching it out. And Chris again grabbed the alternate. So, I don't know. Throw something into the mixer. Run in for one lap or two on the primers. We saw Eza do that. I think it was Eza did it at his win, correct?
Yeah, he did the Laguna Seca, and he claims it was an accident.
Moses
We'll never
is now
get
in the lead.
the real answer, I'm sure, if that was just a very clever strategy or he made a mistake and never got primaries on his last stop. Well, we'll never know, but we do know. Well, actually, it wasn't a win for him. It was an unofficial win, and then due to timing and scoring, he had a pit lane penalty that took him from P1 to P2 because of the 10-second time penalty, which gave Mark DeGraw the win that weekend. So Mark and Eza always seem to have controversial finishes.
Yeah, and up and down the paddock right after that win, a lot of team managers' noses in the rule. books. 1 lap, was it 2 laps? Made for some great runs.
I think by the letter of the law, Essa had hit it before the start-finish line, giving him 1 lap on those tires. But since then, we've seen administration come in and modify the ruling to make it 2 laps. So we don't have any situations like that again, or at least we shouldn't. But I think most of these guys, and I think that was a mistake on Ez's part. I don't think he really wanted to make an extra pit stop, because if he could have made it an extra lap or 2, even with this penalty, it would have covered it. So I myself I stand by Ezra in this case, but some guys do think it was just clever manipulation of the rules.
A lot of us fellow drivers loved his win, his pseudo win. Great move at the end, whether it was or wasn't intentional. It was a terrific move and just made it to the flag.
So we noticed that Lugmansky came in and took the primary. So already your first 2 drivers on different strategies now. So I think Moses coming in early, grabbing another set of alternates, because it looks like he's going to go alternate, has given him some track position and quite a fistful of time now. 14 seconds back to Lugmansky. So Chris has been putting in the work. Lap time since the pit stop on lap 9, 27, 26, 26, low 27s again. So nice laps by Chris Moses. And on the contrary to that, Kevin Lugmansky's been putting in 128s, and I think he may have had a slip up that cost him about 10 seconds on lap 11. I'm not sure. We missed that, so we're not sure what happened to Kevin on that lap, but I would wager that that's probably the delta.
And we've got, after cycling through, Matt Taylor in 4th is all over the back of Aaron Parsons here.
So, interesting, because Matt couldn't keep pace, but now that I look at their tires, Parson did grab the primaries, and Taylor on the alternates. So, and did it, as they go on the primaries, the first hit? So, I don't think I've seen anybody double the primaries yet. This is interesting.
Yes, and, those alternates are worth probably, Kevin and those guys up front. Oh, and here's the move. And he gets it done.
Oh, he's got to finish it. Yeah, he's got it.
Those guys really respect each other. Good clean pass.
Good place to do it from Taylor, and I think Essa knew the jig was up there.
We'll push the patch from Matt, and by he goes.
So that's the one thing where we have to be creative to track here. Are the number of push-to-passes available. I can sometimes pick it up on the onboard cam of the steering wheel, but you don't always know how many push-to-passes these guys have left, especially in the closing lap. So we'll have to use a little bit of our camera work here to see if we can pick those up. I wish we would be able to have that somewhere on the broadcast here, because that would be great to see.
And it'll be interesting here on this particular track, maybe you can utilize it a bit more than on the last few weeks. Good opportunities to have 1 or 2 in a battle on the push to pass. So it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, so just caught Chris Moses getting into and out of the pit. So Moses does 9 and 9, and he's on his 3rd sets of the alternate. So maybe he's going to try to take it to 27 and then run 20 laps on the primaries.
Could be interesting. We'll keep an eye on his times.
For sure, he pops out back in 5th position there. Not too far behind Houston, who is on the primary tire, so we'll probably have a battle on our hands here for P4 and, well, not even a lap.
Yeah, Taylor made pretty quick work of that on that last pass on the alternate, so Chris should be able to catch him up.
Yeah, even with Matt carrying the extra 20 kilograms of baggage there, he was able to get the move done pretty quickly. So Moses closing in just about a second gap, and it looks like he's going to get about a 10th of corner here. Now down to 8/10. Chris just keeping it nice and smooth.
Just checking back in the field a little bit. My teammate, Dale Baldwin, running in 12th. Dale's had a little bit of frustration this year. Always running good throughout the week. I practice with him every week. Can-Am Racing, and he is up to 12th. So Dale having a great run for us. And Dale is on the alternates currently. I don't know if he's been in once or twice.
Oh, Chris had a look down the back stretch, and Houston shut the door going into the inner loop. We'll hop back on board with Chris. That was exciting. No discredit to Dale. He's having a heck of a drive. We've got some excitement here for the P4 position, so we're going to stay with this battle.
Chris is on the alternates. Houston's still on the primaries, and he looks to the inside again, and he gets it done.
He was on the button. I'm not sure if they were both on the button, and John's going to take it right back to him. It looks like, red. Just waving at Chris.
Those two have been racing together for many, many years at MAGP. Not the first time they've seen each other back to toe.
So Houston drops to 5th, but on a different strategy than Chris. So Chris on those alternates, we're going to see him push and bring as much out of him as he can for what's probably going to be the next 9 laps. Hop back on board with Kevin Legmansky, who's got 5 seconds to Matt Taylor. That lead's coming down a little bit. Matt keeps chipping into him each lap. Kevin's last lap at 28.0, and Matt Taylor's last lap at 27.
And, you know, we've been quiet on Kevin, but he's been, since, the second stop, he is out front. No news is good news for Kevin. And he is 126.7, his last lap through on the primaries. So he is comfortably out front.
Yeah, Matt's able to chip away at him here, but at this rate, I'm not sure Matt's got enough time in those tires to close the gap and get a pass done.
And he came out hot on those tires. We saw him make the move. It was on Parsons, and they're running hot. You know that right now on lap 21 of 37.
The leader has just done a
Yeah, watching Legmansky here
127.5.
work on lap traffic. That appears to be Gomez. He has plenty of space coming in here.
Oh. A lot of respect.
Yeah, good on Omar. Good run for Omar. Haven't mentioned him lately. Running in 14th, so trying to grab some points here. Just bringing on home. We're 22 of 37 in, so it's been fast and furious here at Watkins Glen. We're past the halfway point. Kevin Legmansky, your leader. Matt Taylor in second. Aaron Parsons in third.
And only 18 are still on track. Plenty of room out there. Yeah, that might help the leaders come back marker time. So plenty of room.
I'm on board with Aaron Parsons right now, and Chris Moses now has reeled in as a. They got around. He dispatched Houston a few laps ago, and now he's working on Eza.
As expected on the alternates, and Eza still on the primaries.
So Chris just about half a second back. We'll see. We'll see when and where he catches it. A little bit of adjustment there in the last corner, but he still closes in. We'll see when and where. It looks like he's setting up to
Fastest
be
lap
in a
for
good position on the back stretch.
126.7.
And nice move by Aaron to close the door.
Keep an eye on Chris's dash on his wheel here. Doesn't look like he's on the button here. Looks like he's just going to stay in the draft and maybe follow Ezra further the lap, see if he gets another opportunity. Looks like Chris went into that first corner a little too fast and lost some exit speed, and Aaron was able to keep the gap on the backstretch.
Yeah, and as we saw with Matt Taylor, Chris is on the alternates, and they can go off quick on you depending on how hard you push them. And he's been behind Parsons and pushing Parsons here for the last couple of laps. So are those alternates going to heat up for Chris?
Yeah, we expect to see Chris on the 27th lap, so he should have a couple of good laps left in him. His last 2 laps was a 26.8 and a 26.7, so I mean he's definitely doing the pace on the tires.
And he's quicker than Aaron, but just has not so far found a way around.
Yeah, and he's also carrying the fast lap of the race too at a 126.4, just half a second off the pole. And is he going to go make us try on the turn 1? See if Chris can get it done. Oh yeah, I think Ezra just let him go. He knew Chris had pace.
And let's see if Chris is gonna. He knows he's only got a couple of laps left, good ones on those tires, and he's due to pit in the next couple of laps. Let's see if he's gonna push the pass. He's got Aaron back on him.
Well, catching and passing are always 2 different things, and I think right now Ezra's just probably trying to stay close, minimize the delta between them as they're running a different tire strategy.
And little close quarters with a black one.
Yeah, a little tricky getting around. I think that was Gomez getting around him going into the boot there, but good on Chris and Aaron to find their way around him.
Keeping an eye just on Kevin Lansky. Matt Taylor comes through the 127.
The leader has just done a 127.5.
126. His last lap was a 126.7 on the primaries.
Oh, that's his best lap. That's his last lap was a 127.5, but that's still a great time on the primaries.
Real good time on the primaries.
Yeah, so he's been mid-27s the last 3 or 4 laps. A little bit off pace on the previous lap, but that could have been a back marker. I know he had to get around some traffic there, so you expect to see that from time to time. Checking Taylor's lap times.
Kevin's about 7/10 up on Matt. I believe they are on the same pit stop cycle so far.
Might be, and it looks like Chris Moses is really getting Matt Taylor. Moses might try to pick off another. That gap is now down to a 1.5 seconds. That closed quickly.
We are in lap 25. Those alternates for Chris, and he had a little battle for quite a while with Aaron Parsons. You know, how well are those alternates holding up? Did he put any pressure, excuse me, on Matt Taylor?
Looks like he just got a little bit of dust on the entry there, so he might have missed that corner a little bit, but still closing that gap. Taylor has not been able to close it on Kevin Lekmansky despite the difference in tire strategy. Chalk that to Kevin just putting in some great laps, and maybe that 20 kilograms that Matt's had to lug around.
Kevin was determined on this track. He's making it work so far through lap 26. Quietly for Kevin. Got his head down, and he is up front. He's on the primary. He's probably got maybe 6 more laps to go before he's got to come in.
And sit tight. Whoa, big bubble by Matt Taylor. That's going to let Chris Moses have a look on the inside. He's going to get the move done going into the boot here.
And he does.
And he does. And just like that, Taylor has a little slip up coming out of the bus stop into that sweeper, and maybe just that 20 kilograms has got the car off balance. We've seen him have a couple bobbles there. Not sure if it's just maybe the setup or the weight or
Yeah, it could be
just a
set
little
up.
bit of driver error.
Same spot a couple times from that.
You've got to be so aggressive on those curbs in that bus stop if you really want to get the times that, you know, it's sometimes you just miss that line by a tire width, and it's, you know, it's all the difference in the world of, you know, with the right time or the wrong time or you know, or having to gather it back up like we saw Matt do there.
Yeah, FIA drivers even wanted some clarity this week on, you know, the rule through that chicane as far as, you know, the track limit. But I think it defends itself pretty well on its own.
Yeah, so-called natural boundaries here at Watkins Glen. If the curbs don't get you, the Armco will. And keeping that gap, I'm still on board with Chris Moses. I'm just going to pay attention here because he's got 2 seconds now to Kevin Watkins. He is just chopping that lead. Hopping on board with a couple guys that make pit stops here. Jacobs coming out of the pits, on into the pits. It's been a lot of battle here in the top 5, so we've missed these guys that are just outside of that. But so far, Zahn, Jacobs having great runs in the top 10. Looks like we might have missed it, but Taylor came in for tires. Looks like he did. That's a 20-second delta. And he's back on a set of alternates again.
And again, with only 18 cars running, we look at, you know, of course, our leaders.
Moses is leading the race.
Had a lead change. I don't know if you caught that.
We saw.
I think Kevin coming in. He's in.
The leader, Moses, is pitting.
He didn't try to impede Chris too much. We know Moses is in. Okay, they came in together.
Yes, they are.
Kevin's kicking himself now. Maybe should have defended a little harder.
Right behind him.
Now let's see if they switch tires. Compound. Chris has gone every stint on the alternates, and we expected to see him at lap 27, and this is it. So let's see if Chris Moses comes out on primary tires as we suspected, and I would think Kevin Laclancy is going to come out on the alternate. So
this should be good.
Okay. Chris is going to have to get the pedal in here real fast because Kevin's going to have the tire advantage behind him.
And Chris has not had the primary zone. So Kevin can put a little pressure on him. Chris, you know, hasn't run them at all today. All his braking points and frames of reference are from the alternates. And they are a little squirrely when they're cold. So he's going to have to be smooth on this outlet.
Yep, so back on board with your leader, Aaron Parsons has cycled through to P1 again. They went 15 laps last time, so maybe we'll see them in a couple more laps. John Houston, his teammate, still right in tow, and these guys still doing lap times.
And have been running together virtually.
The leader, Parsons, is pitting.
And that's interesting.
Is it Aaron coming back with the magic 1 lap primaries once again with his?
Yeah, 3 sets of primaries and 1 on the alternate. I mean, by definition of the rules, that would work. So Aaron in, John Houston in, Aaron. Okay, on the alternates, he did take the alternate tires this time,
and John as well.
So we expect to see these guys probably doing 18 laps left in this race. So probably like Moses, 9 laps a stint. So these guys will now be on the front foot, looking to take the battle to the leaders. Kevin Lemansky slipping by Aaron on his outlet there. So
and
Kevin gets P2 back. And we'll stay with Kevin here as we anticipate Kevin catching Chris. Now, Kevin was very opportunistic there to catch Aaron on his out lap. I'm sure it takes a few corners for those tires to come up to temperature, and it looks like Kevin jumped on that opportunity.
So let's keep an eye on Chris Moses' lap time. First lap on those primaries, and Kevin is all over the back of him.
Yeah, I'm on board with Kevin now, and he's 3/10 off. I think Kevin's going to get this done in the next couple of corners. I don't think Chris has got.
Not on those tires.
I don't think he's got any means to defend from Kevin. He can make that car as wide as he wants, but push to pass can be more than the great equalizer sometimes. And I think Kevin's. I'm reading it. He's on it now. Let's see if Chris uses something to defend.
New fastest lap for Lechmansky, 126.3.
Kevin thinks twice about it. Oh, Chris takes a little wide. I think that's going to open the door, and Kevin's through. Kevin Lechmansky back to lead position.
And you got to hand it to King Moses. He took it right to the edge there.
And Chris comes right back on. Well, these guys having fun drafting back. We can't get it done, though. And good on Chris. I mean, he knew he didn't really have the preferred line, the preferred tire. Now he's going to come under fire from Eza. Eza looks like he's got a ton of push to pass left. And poor Chris, he's got to be, man, he's a sit duck. He's just got picked off by Kevin. He's got a mirror full of Eza, and right behind Eza is John Houston. He's going to get freight train.
And it looks like Houston might be, there could be a little team orders going on. Houston's holding back just a little bit.
I'm sure Eza's not going to wait too long for Chris because Lechmansky is now pulling away.
And
let's catch a view here from John Houston. Yeah, John slipped back just a little bit. I think maybe just to kind of give his teammates some respect here and let him go to battle without having to worry about being attacked. As on the push to pass, and he's got 7 left. I think Eza's going to get it done this lap. He's got the position.
So it'll be interesting to see if Houston steps it up now.
All right, let's jump on board with John Houston. Oh, Chris, you've been on the broadcast a lot tonight. You were on the front foot, but now he's not going to want to watch this. But this is what's made it exciting. This is what's kept the battles going, is this different strategies we've been seeing. And keep an eye on that gap to first. It's sitting at about 1.5 seconds right now. As always, the opportunist. One little mistake by Kevin.
I know. None of them have weight.
None of your drivers carrying ballast here in these top positions. Taylor is the heaviest car, and he's in P7 right now. John just being consistent here. Last lap of 27 flat. And I think he's just been biding time. That's actually his best lap is a 27 flat. I just don't think he's had the clean air and the alternate tires. And John's on the button here. He's got a draft and he's got the push to pass. Let's see. Yeah, he's able to get around Chris. Chris tucks back in. Well done by John. He's at now. Eza takes it off. John around the outside.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not sure if Eza just caught a back marker at a bad time. That's Dale. I didn't see any contact. Maybe he just ran up on him and wasn't, bad timing sometimes when you catch a lap car. Can just kind of throw you off when you're in such a rhythm for so many laps.
Which I just checked back with Kevin Lechmansky, our leader. He danced through some back traffic, lap traffic, pretty cleanly, and he ran. His last is a 120, just under 127, 126 still on the alternates. So Kevin is keeping the pedal to the metal here.
And just 4 laps ago, he went ahead and threw down your fast lap of the race. That purple time of a 1:26.3, only 4/10 off of his qualifying time. So Kevin's head down. He's putting him in 3 seconds now to Houston in second place. We're right on board with Parsons. Team battle here, but John now has the position, so we'll see how these guys ride this out. I wouldn't expect John to just hand it over to Aaron, not for any particular reason.
And at this point, on the same pit strategy throughout the race, I believe at this point, no team.
And Ezza had his win taken away, and John scored a win at most sports. So these guys definitely capable of winning a race.
They're going to race it out, I believe, and they will be cautious with that team championship points available to them, running as they are now, second and third. But it's the shot at it here.
Close enough. Let's hop on board with Ezza. He's got a handful of push to pass left.
And he is all over his teammate.
And he's got 5 of them, I think. And Houston's got 3 of them. So, and he lets him go.
Yep.
I don't know if he let him go, but Ezza had a great. Well, now we'll just pay attention here. See if maybe John puts return the favor.
And Alex just checked in with Kevin at 126.5. Kevin is out front on lap 34 of 37, comfortably to that battle behind.
Looks like Ezza's going to hang on down the backstretch. Puts about half a second back to Houston. So some excitement here between teammates. Maybe not racing 10/10 as you would maybe a rival on the track, but still fun to watch.
And with their cycle on the stops, their tires are in good shape.
So we've got 34, about to turn our 35th lap. We've spent a lot of time up front. Kevin Lukmansky, your leader right now. He's got about 4 seconds to Parsons.
Is that Moses is off?
Oh, Moses has blown it.
Off from third.
He's going to drop position to cup it.
Oh, my goodness.
And here comes Alan Jacobs around the outside. Be safe, Alan Jacobs. Let's get on board with Moses right now, see if he's got a bent wheel. Wheel looks straight, but you know what happens when you slide those tires, even the primary tires, you got to be careful.
It doesn't look like much aero damage, but it looks like a mistake from Chris.
Such a bummer, Chris, having such a great run up there. So that puts Cuppet at a P4. Great potential result here for Jonathan Cuppet. He's only got 3 laps to finish, so good on your Cuppet. Alan Jacobs having a great drive. Again, haven't given much love to these guys back here just outside our top 3, but fantastic run by Jacobs. Moses slipped to 6. Matt Taylor down to 7th. But a good run for him.
David Zahn in 8th, having a great run up in the top 10.
And Mateo, who, again, haven't picked up much of tonight. I feel sorry for these guys, but having a strong run. Strong P9, top 10. And our newcomer, Martin Smith, subbing in. Who is he? Is he subbing in for, I don't know whose car that is.
I believe he is in my car.
Oh, he's in your car? Okay, wonderful.
I believe so.
And he rounds out your top 10. Greg Myers, Mr. Consistency, Mr. Smooth, whatever you want to call him. Hanging around there in P11. I bet if I check.
Surprising for Brad.
New fastest lap for Lechmansky, 126.1.
Just take a look at his lap times. He's on the alternate, steady eddies with 128. So that's what you'd expect, right?
And in the points.
In the points, everybody, well, almost everybody. We only got 17 cars left on track. Chuck Carter putting together your last car lead lap at 12.
My teammate Dale Baldwin is 13th.
Omar having a solid run in 14th.
And Lou hanging in there in 15th in the points.
Josh Slate's going to be your last point scorer in 16th. And Looks like Mateos came in the pits. Chris Moses is our battle on track. He's found a way back by as we were cycling through some of the cars there. He's found a way back through Alan Jacobs, which is interesting because he shouldn't be on the right tire to do that. So I wonder if Alan had a slip up there. Let's check his lap times. 129.14. So that's a little off his pace. That probably cost him that position.
So 2 to go. Kevin Romansky, 126.1 on the alternates. 2 laps to go. And he has space.
Moses definitely has some aero damage. I'm seeing a crooked rear wing. And look at this. We're on our last lap. And Moses is going to have to defend for his life in P5 right now. Alan Jacobs is on the hunt.
Looks like Jacobs has a little bit of front aero damage as well, maybe.
Yeah, let's check him out. Yeah, hard to tell.
Could be that fancy paint job.
Yeah, it could be that dark, kind of wavy looking paint job there. Looks like Jacobs has to be pushed to pass left, so if he's going to get this done, he's going to have to get it done. All in power.
On the last lap. Looks like he's a couple second cushion for Aaron.
Yeah, Jacobs couldn't get it done on the back stretch there. Just might have been defending on the button. We're on board with your leader here, Kevin. He's got 3 corners to navigate.
And he looks like he is going to bring it home for Kevin's first win.
Solid looking run here from Kevin. Had to be the crowd favorite, right? Hometown guy, you know, crack owner, air quotes.
And when Kevin's quiet throughout the week, you know something.
That's a new fastest lap for Parsons. 126.
That's a great run, P2. Pulls it right in front, and John Houston rounds out top 3. Great run by John. Those are your podium finishes. Kevin Lemansky, Aaron Parsons, and John Houston. Jonathan Cuppet's going to bring it home, P4. Great run for Jonathan Cuppet. Chris Moses is going to salvage P5. I'm sure he had higher expectations and maybe a little bit, glimmer of the podium there for a while.
Yeah, just one bobble. Cost him a few spots.
Yeah, Matt Taylor going to bring it home, P6. Alan Jacobs must have had another slip up because Taylor must have stuck by him. He was just by Moses, P7. David Zahn brings it home, P8. Straight run for him. Martin Smith got a couple corners to go. He's going to finish 9th. He's got a nice gap to Greg Myers there. So it looks like when we had a pit stop, Greg was able to cycle up a position as well.
In a great looking car, if I don't say so myself.
Greg's livery here in second. There he is.
We were talking about Marty Smith in my car.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a sharp looking car, too. Yeah.
That's that car's first top 10 of the year without me in it. That's for sure.
Well, somebody had to warm it up and get all the tune in, Tom.
Oh, I've had, Can-Am Racing, we're on a limited budget and we've had some mechanical issues over the last couple of weeks. But I do want to give a shout out to my teammate. He brought it home 13th in the points. Can-Am. 14th, we had Gummas. Boomass Rally 15th. Jonathan Slade 16th. And that's all I can say.
Yeah, Omar's he's 5 laps down. He's our last finish, but he's the one just outside the points. Let's see if we can go hunt down Mr. Kevin Lemansky. Kevin Lemansky, you're in the broadcast booth with Jesse Olson and Tom Traskell.
Hey,
congratulations.
Good run, Kevin. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Looked like head down. All business.
I didn't know what was going to happen. I knew I had speed, but I've never been good on strategy this whole freaking season. And so I I pushed the issue. I think I did 12 laps on the alternates, which that 12th lap was not easy and was very slow, but that allowed me to only do, well, I guess then I did 16 on primaries, and then I was able to only do 10 on the final. So I had good tires at the end. I knew I was in good shape halfway through the race. I saw Moses had come out again on alternates, and then a third time on alternates. I was like, oh, he's got to be on a 3-stop strategy or something. So I kind of figured I was in the shade there. But at the end of the second stint, though, I didn't quite have enough fuel to make it. So I don't know if you saw it or were on me at that point, but I was going super slow on my final lap on the second stint to make it to. I made it to my pit box with 0 fuel left. It just sputtered out as soon as I hit the pits box.
Oh, we didn't think of that. We saw you to back off, and we wasn't sure if you were just giving some room there to Moses, who was, at the end of his alternate set of strategies.
No, I was
going
not
on
going to make it
primaries.
if I stayed on pace. I would have been stranded.
Well, good on you. We saw the qualifying time, heck of a qualifying time. So you nab the pole and you get the win. Hometown track. It's got to feel good to finally get up on the winner's circle, first time this season, and get a pole position. Besides outside the strategy, I think we saw, or I was checking the timing sheet. A lap there was off. Did you run up on a back marker, or did you have a little bobble, maybe?
Well, the last lap of the second stint, which would have been like the 27th lap, was really slow. Like Moses was like 3 seconds behind me, and he passed me. I was just dogging it, and I basically stayed in 6th gear almost the whole lap just to make it. So then I coasted every corner, and short shifted it like crazy.
And that was on fuel, Kev, not tires.
That was strictly fuel. The tires were fine. That was on the primary tires. See, when I first started doing it, it said I could make it 15.5 laps on primaries with a full tank, and I had to make it 16. So I forgot about that halfway through stint, and I was cranking down laps. I was putting them down on the primaries, and then I realized, oh no, I'm like 0.3 laps short. So then for the last 2 laps, I had to really back it down to make it back to pit lane so I could get going again.
Well, we had to pick on you for something, because it looked like, other than that,